Welcome back to Wrestling World. Today we'll be taking a look at a personal story that CM Punk recently shared about a massive fight with his wife, AJ Lee. Before we get into it, there's a large percentage of you that aren't subscribed, so just click that subscribe button below to be notified of everything new and drop a like below. So let's get right into this story with the CM Punk and AJ Lee fight. This story comes courtesy of Renee Paquette's Oral Sessions podcast. CM Punk was recently a guest on the podcast and had a lot of stories to share, including this fight with AJ Lee, so let's see how that came into play. We know how high tensions were several years ago for AJ Lee and CM Punk going up against WWE. CM Punk had one of the most controversial exits from WWE that resulted in several legal situations and other serious situations. He walked out on WWE. He wanted a few months off, but had intentions of coming back. However, WWE didn't think he was coming back, so they terminated him for just leaving like the way he did. It was just a whole entire mess that everyone heard about several times over the last few years. He was basically at battle with this company all while his wife was still employed and working for them. So it created a weird working environment for AJ Lee and a weird situation for them at home as well. CM Punk spoke about how high the tension was during this time and how it resulted in actual fights between himself and AJ. CM Punk had this to say about those fights and what happened. "I don't know if anything changed. It was just hard. Being sued by this company. There were probably like a lot of arguments, a lot of fights with her that were a manifestation of me being angry. It was hard on her because she was still working there, and also her neck got messed up. There was a lot going on, but obviously it made us stronger." So we knew about CM Punk and AJ Lee's feelings towards this situation with WWE for several years now. This is the first time either of them is opening up about the impact it had on them at home in their personal lives. We haven't really heard that side of things until this recent podcast with Renee. Punk obviously doesn't put the blame for those fights on AJ. He said it was just a manifestation of him being angry with everything going on with WWE at the time, and he just blames himself. He was constantly frustrated all day long. This frustration would just pour into his relationship and lead to these fights. Punk had gone on record several times to explain what was going on. He claims that he was fired on his wedding day and was in a massive legal battle for endless months. So you can kind of see why this tension was so high. Obviously, all of this was hard on AJ because you had this legal battle going on between your employer and your husband. So you're kind of stuck in between. And AJ has actually opened up about that. She said that she used to get some strange looks backstage after CM Punk left. So it looks like all this awkwardness backstage, plus these fights and high tension at home with CM Punk, is what also made AJ just walk away from WWE. She had that neck injury going on, her husband was frustrated all the time because of this, and she was getting weird vibes all the time from her employer and coworkers. So all of that probably built up some frustration for her as well. So both of their issues and the both of them being frustrated with different things led to them colliding several times with each other. However, like Punk said, it wasn't anything too awful, and he feels like it actually helped them in the long run. It made them grow together and get even stronger, so it all worked out in the end. As far as what's next for the former WWE power couple, AJ Lee is currently working on several writing projects, and CM Punk is interested in making a return to wrestling, but only if the money and storyline is right. CM Punk and AJ Lee are very to themselves and out of the public eye, so we don't get to hear from them that often, but it was interesting for Punk to share this personal story between them and how it helped them grow together. We'll have to see what's next for AJ Lee and CM Punk in the future. What are your thoughts on CM Punk's story about the fights he had with AJ Lee all those years ago? Leave your comments on what he shared below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on all those notifications if you're new, and drop a like if you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, guys.